Hello, I'm Len Hayes, and I'd like to welcome everyone to today's session hosted by AMT-SYBEX. I'm delighted to be joined by the former CIO of National Grid Electricity Transmission, John Seglias. He'll be giving his expert view on the current state of the energy supply market. I'll hand over to John to introduce himself.
Thank you. So my name is John Seglias. I used to be the CIO for National Grid Electricity Transmission for a couple of years, and I'm very happy to be on this Q&A with you.
Thanks, John. We'll start with a topical question. In your opinion, were the recent increase in gas wholesale prices predictable?
So my view is that our transition to green energy generation is still very much a journey. And we're still in the beginning of the journey, so we're probably in the first quarter of that journey. So, for example, in the UK, we have plans to increase offshore wind generation from the current 10 gigawatts to 40 gigawatts by 2030. And because we're still towards the beginning of the journey, renewable energy contribution to the energy mix is still unpredictable. We cannot therefore fully rely on historical generation as a way to predict future generation. It's especially difficult to predict renewable generation for smaller periods of time because they're subject to conditions such as wind strength and so on. So I would therefore have expected the industry to put in place kind of continuous, unbiased scenario planning, continuously looking at all possible scenarios, including more extreme ones, like the ones that we experienced this autumn. That means a combination of an increase in demand as the economy recovers, the interconnector fire, and the low renewable contribution, all of which, of course, resulted in an increase in demand for gas. So the recent increases in gas wholesale prices could have been better predicted if steps had been taken. But of course, the question is, what can we do about it, even if we know in advance? Because the energy market is regulated and the prices are capped. So energy providers can't just increase prices. But what they can do is plan better to ensure better revenue and cost management.
Thanks, John. As we move to net zero, there's a view that the industry should move away from the switch culture in favour of a new, engaged, data-led consumer culture. Do you think current regulation is fit for purpose for this shift?
So we are in a strange period, aren't we, with about 50% of energy resellers having gone bust. And of course, the bigger companies are now picking up customers that they probably know nothing about. In general, and of course there are exceptions, I don't think energy companies use the data they have to truly understand their customers, but also truly understand how the businesses operate, for example, where costs exist and how those costs can be taken out. And because they don't use data to better understand customers and retain customers, the competition is mostly down to price, and as a result, we have a switch culture. So currently, consumers have been told not to switch. My deal has just run out. I went online, I did a comparison. I think that I found 3 deals, all very expensive. There are very few deals around, and so this is the time really for energy companies to start using the data to better understand their customers, their use patterns and needs, but also to forensically analyze their cost and opportunities to become more efficient. I think doing so will maximize the chances of retaining customers ahead of May 2022, when wholesale prices should drop as we come out of winter and consumers start looking around for better deals. And of course, ahead of the fastest switching go live in the summer. Companies that do this will be ready for the next time we have a similar market event. But I do think there's an opportunity also to regulate or change the regulation and actually let the companies or tell the companies to use data to do the things I just mentioned, so they're ready for similar market events, so we don't have the same problems we experienced this autumn.
Thanks again, John. So the price of energy for the consumer is not just influenced by wholesale, but also by the cost to serve, which is on the increase. Should energy suppliers shift focus to improve the cost to serve, where of course they have more influence, and ultimately protect costs for consumers?
So absolutely. In unregulated markets, we see competition driving pricing and profits, and companies having to make strategic decisions to, for example, occupy the premium part of the market where brand, product, and service is more important than the price, as long, of course, there is a demand for premium products. or decide to occupy the less premium part of the market where price is key. And we can see that, for example, in cars with premium brands and non-premium brands, and of course clothing. But energy is different. It's less, it's regulated, and it's really a commodity, and therefore there is no premium market. So in the eyes of the consumer, choice is mostly down to price, because service and brand sometimes play as well. So in this type of market, cost control and revenue maximization are critical, really critical to the success of energy companies.
Okay, thank you, John. Moving on to AMT-SYBEX product offering, OptiFlow now. As we discussed, one of the biggest increasing elements in the price passed on to consumers is the cost to serve. Revenue and cost optimization is part of the OptiFlow product offering from AMT. But can I ask you to introduce OptiFlow for us, please?
So we spoke about the market and the problems we experienced in the past few months, and the need for businesses to be data-led and to better understand customers' costs and revenues. AMT-SYBEX have identified this need and have developed a product that can help businesses.
Okay, so what exactly is OptiFlow, John?
So OptiFlow is an analytics tool. It carries out a sequence of defined complex checks on specific control points. In particular, it offers revenue and cost optimization. Foremost, it offers granular validation of invoices, for example, rental and transactional. It optimizes key business and industry control points for value chain optimization by identifying revenue leakage. This level of forensic validation is essential in today's volatile market.
And what's required to take advantage of OptiFlow?
So all that's required is to schedule a call with one of the experts at AMT-SYBEX who will discuss data requirements, services and support to meet your business needs. And in fact, they are so confident in this product and service that they are willing to take a limited data set and identify savings for free.
Okay, thanks for your time today, John. It was just a brief chat, but it's always a pleasure talking to you.
And thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to discuss the energy market, what's going on, what we can do about it, and also your product. Thank you very much.